Hey everybody, welcome to Friday's edition of the Daily Market Commentary, although I'm recording this on Saturday because the market wasn't open today, and I'm sure you were all right without it coming out right on Friday. So a couple things to look at, some interesting things that made some breakouts, but that's really more in our bond market and our currency markets. Doing the same thing we do every day, looking at our same 8 markets to see how these markets change. So S&P, same thing that we had all week. It was literally a week where there was, in my mind, no reason to try to trade the S&P. The hourly chart kind of chopped around. We stayed in a fairly tight range. If you go down to a really small, maybe a 15-minute time period, you might get a little reversal at one of these levels down in here, although that level's already been hit one time. I don't see any reason to take any of these other levels. They are not going to be as effective because they're just not clean opportunities. We don't see any clear-cut order imbalances between buying and selling. Looking at the Nasdaq, what we can see is that the Nasdaq gave us a little bit of a breakout, popped above this level that we had talked about on the other day. We talked about this little level here. We had popped up out of it, still looking for a little bit of a retest back into that zone. But we definitely did pop up out of that zone. We'd said maybe on a 15-minute chart it was worth a very small time frame short. So we did get a little move into the level in the overnight hours, and for a very small time frame short, it fell down to about a little bit of about a 1-to-1 level before then failing that level right through. So if you took it for kind of a short little 1-to-1 in the overnight hours, then great. If not, you can see what happens when those levels get broken through. And sometimes the true trade is to take the breakout when we run out of one type of order. So in this case, we had a bunch of selling that was going on. Price hit there. The sellers were really in control. Price came up, went sideways in that area. That's really when I find those breakouts to be most effective. When the second time in, the third time in, we get a little bit of sideways price in the area where there was that resistance, all those sellers. And then what that does is it exhausts all those sellers that happen to be in that area. So boom, you get a nice little pop up out of that level. Crude oil. So crude oil, we did meet entry. You may, depending on how tight you put your stop, you may have been stopped out. But you would have met entry on this one. This is the level that we talked about that it already hit once. That if you're aggressive, you could take it a second time on a confirmation entry. So, on a confirmation entry, you may have actually gotten in right on this candlestick right here. You may actually have gotten in a bit later. So crude oil, my guess is that you're probably out of it because you certainly don't want to hold this over a weekend if you did get in, but it is still available. Now, gold, we talked about gold. The gold level that we had given earlier in the week met entry on Wednesday, and it is still not yet reached target. So continuing to go higher, has not quite yet reached target there at 1308. There could be a selling opportunity here at this 1308 level if you want to get short coming out of it. Looking at gold on a daily chart, a little bit of a bigger picture, we can see eventually that on our bigger picture time period, looks like I am reconnected, so I'll give that just a second. All right, there we are. And so the daily chart shows us that we're coming into an area where we've been here in the past a couple of times, so you may not get a huge move out of this coming out of this level. So be a little cautious on this, based on our arrival into this area of selling. You may only get a little move out of it. Matter of fact, it may only go down as far as here. So I liked it a lot more. It was very dependent on how price came into this area, and prices come into that area pretty weakly. So I don't know, I'm not sure what kind of a move you'd get. I think at a 1-to-1 reward to risk, it might be time to move your stop to break even on something like this. Looking at the commodity markets, currency markets and bond markets. Now, we had talked about the breakout. We talked a little bit about a kind of an ascending triangle pattern, if you will. We talked about getting long on a breakout above this area, and that is exactly what the market gave us as we rallied straight through here, just about hit target, not quite there, but it did trigger the alert that I had set for this area. So I had an alert set for this area for, a few weeks, it looked like. And I'm gonna put that alert back in because that was really where I wanted to know when we got above that area. And it's funny because I wasn't in front of my computer and I didn't have a trade set up, and I thought, oh, I'm going to miss it. But we still may get into this. Now this, you can take this as a number, as an entry where you get in as soon as it comes into this region of price. You can get in, you can let it come into this area and then get short as it comes back out of that area. But ultimately, I think your target, your profit target would be right around this, the 125, the 150 area might be a little bit aggressive. You might even want to go the 190 area as your first profit target coming out of that area if you do get short on that zone. The Aussie. So the Aussie, I thought we may get a little move out of here, but we had talked about how this is a very weak entry, and I'm not so sure that I liked it. So, this was our target off of our bounce from this 77.63 level. So we hit the target. This is really where I liked the better short up here at the 79.12, 79.16. I did not have the short set up on this level for a couple of reasons. We talked about this as the profit target, but we stayed up here for quite a while, which made that level a little bit less high probability. On the euro, so now the euro level touched, moved away, has almost gotten back in, but was unable to penetrate. So this level is still valid. This is the one that I frankly missed by a tick, and I did not get filled. If you really zoom in on this, you'll see how it just missed it by a tick. So didn't get filled on that one, no problem. Those things in life will indeed happen. In the Canadian dollar, last one that we have for today, we did get the breakdown out of this level we talked about. Price did come down and touch the target. So on that one, you should have been able to make a very quick little breakdown profit from that level. We had that rising line. We talked about breaking below that line with a target right here, which is just above this last area of consolidation that we had in the past. So overall, those are the levels that we had set up in play for the week. We've now been doing these daily videos for a couple of weeks, and any feedback you guys have is much appreciated. I'd like to look at some individual securities a little bit more often. It's been a really tough time to look at individual stocks simply because we are in earnings season. So being in the midst of earnings season, there's just not as many opportunities on the swing trader perspective. So hope you guys have a good safe trading week. If there's anything I can do for you, feel free to reach out and let me know. Thank you so much. And if you like what we're doing, just give me a follow on the channel, subscribe, and share with others. Thanks so much. Have a great day. See ya.